Oh man, do we need to talk about these new changes to vehicle sale values in GTAonline. A couple years ago, Rockstar made a questionable change with vehicle resale values that essentially lowered them the more that you sold vehicles. But that honestly is nothing compared to how our cheeks got spread today with these new changes. So first, I'll go over the changes that were implemented today and how they compare to what we had before, and then I'll do a live experiment to show you what that actually looks like in-game. So the original calculation for reselling vehicles was 60% of the cost of the vehicle plus half of the cost of any upgrades that you put on the vehicle. And prior to the changes today, that was still true, but only for the first vehicle that you sold within an 18-hour window. Any vehicle that you sold within that time frame would be worth less and less, so the second vehicle would be worth half of what it would be normally, the third would be 20%, and the fourth, and so on, would be 5% of the original resale price. And that would refresh every 18 hours. So really, if you only sold one car every day in real life, you wouldn't notice any change there. It wouldn't be much of an issue for you. However, the new changes here completely ruin this system and completely fucks over legitimate players in an attempt to stop money glitchers. They have gone way too far with this change. This new system has a $500,000 cap in place, which means no matter how expensive the vehicle was when you bought it, that whole 60% of the price of the vehicle plus half the price of the upgrades, that does not matter anymore if it totals to more than $500,000. That is the maximum sale value for any vehicle in this game now. So look at my Raiju, which I paid over $6 million for plus all the upgrades for it. It sells for $500,000. Same for the Titan 250D, and same for the Oppressor Mark II. Some of the most expensive vehicles in this game are only selling now for $500,000. Which is completely messed up because 90% of the vehicles these days cost more than like $600,000, which would be a small enough amount to where you would still see an impact from getting a resale value on the upgrades that you pay for. Anything over $1 million and you're already hitting that cap just on the vehicle price alone. So you're never going to get any value off of your upgrades if you buy any modern vehicle. And since 95% of newer vehicles are way over $1 million to purchase, you get the idea there. You get fucked. But it gets even worse than that because they also nerf the amount that you get for selling consecutive vehicles within a time frame. So the first vehicle will be 100% of the sale price, which would be $500,000. The second vehicle you sell is 50% of the sale price. The third vehicle, 10%, down from 20% what it was. The fourth vehicle, 5% of the sale price, and the fifth vehicle, and so on, is now worth 2.5% of the original sale price. And you might be thinking, oh well, just wait out the 18 hours then before selling another vehicle. It's not that hard. Well, the time frame for when this refreshes is now changed to a 7-day period. So now it's a weekly limit on vehicle sale values instead of a daily limit, meaning if you sell 3 cars one day, you will have to wait an entire real-life week before your sell prices go back to that normal $500,000. That is fucked. So let's do a little bit of an experiment now. I have $1.3 billion, so I don't mind spending some cash to show you guys how this system sucks major ass. So I bought 5 adders to demonstrate these changes. The adder is a $1 million vehicles, as we all know. So I should be getting $600,000 from selling the vehicle, seeing as I haven't sold any cars yet. 60% of $1 million is $600,000. But oh wait, because of these new changes, the car is only worth $500,000 because I've already hit that cap. And if I go to put an upgrade on the vehicle like armor, that's a $50,000 upgrade cost. So before these changes, I would be getting $25,000 added on to that resale value. But yeah, you don't get that money back because we're already at the max cap here as I've demonstrated. But let's sell the vehicle anyways and call in our next one. In the second adder now, this one is only worth $250,000, and once again, we don't see any benefit in the resale value from putting upgrades on it. So we sell that one and get into our third adder. And this one is now worth 10% of the original sale value, so it sells for $50,000. The fourth vehicle, it sells for $25,000. And finally, the fifth adder sells for a measly $12,500. And now for the next 7 days, any personal vehicle I try to sell will sell at this price of $12,500. My Raiju sells for $12,500 even though it's like a $6 million jet. If I decide to take my vintage James Bond Aston Martin DB5 movie car with Agent 007's ass sweat baked into the driver's seat, the Rick Harrison Pawn Stars mechanic here will only offer me $12,500. Now, obviously, this is the extreme situation. I don't think anyone is going to sell 5 vehicles in a row like I did just to show the changes. But in case you somehow think these are good changes to combat money glitchers, and are a fan of how boots taste for whatever reason, let me show you some real applications on how this new system completely screws over legitimate players over money glitchers. So there's a few different ways to get free vehicles in this game these days. I'm not talking about glitches and give cars to friends glitches. I'm talking either cars that you earn or win through various methods through businesses and properties in the game. The podium vehicle is a perfect example. Let's say you already have an LM87 that you paid millions for, and you end up winning it on the wheel this week for free. Well, the common strat after you win a vehicle is to sell the one that you paid millions for to make that money back, and you end up coming out ahead after upgrading the new one. Well, now since you're only able to sell vehicles for $500,000 max, by the time you fully upgrade that new one that you got for free, you're not really coming out ahead if you win a vehicle now. That rewarding feeling is completely gone. And that same logic applies to both the car meet, if you get the prize ride for free, or the salvage yard business, which just so happens to also have a claimable vehicle this week with the Coquette D10. If you already have the vehicle bought, there is no point to getting any of the vehicles for free anymore because you can't resell them for the values they should be worth. So now the salvage yard is even more of a worthless business than it already was, because now you can't really take advantage of that already very limited feature of being able to claim a vehicle if you already own it. This is a completely idiotic change. I get trying to stop money glitchers, but it comes to a point where trying to stop cheaters is affecting the actual player base who isn't just trying to cheat their way through the game. I think they really just need to go back to the drawing board with this change. And also, just out of curiosity, why is a change this drastic even being implemented this late into the game's life cycle? GTA 6 is coming out in like 6 months. Unless this is some sort of a test for GTA 6's online system and how that game will handle vehicle reselling, which, God, I hope they don't implement this stupid system. It's just dumb overall. I absolutely hate this change. At the very least, they need to make it so that the first vehicle you sell is worth the full price, not this stupid-ass $500,000 cap. If you want to make it so you can only get one vehicle a week with the full resale value, fine. I think that's fair enough. But this immediate $500,000 cap on all of your vehicles that you spent millions on is absolutely ludicrous, ridiculous, and bullshit. Anyways, let me know your thoughts on these vehicle resale changes. I don't think anyone is going to be disagreeing with me in my points I've made here. If you enjoyed the video or found it helpful, feel free to leave a like as well as subscribe to my channel for more GTA Online content. Definitely keep an eye out on the channel because I'm still going to be uploading another video on the vehicle price changes and giving my thoughts on those. And I might do another video on how we might be getting GTA 6 pre-orders next week. I also want to give a huge shout out to all of my channel members for your support. If you'd like to become a member for some exclusive perks, you can either use the join button or the link that's down in the description. And as always, thanks for watching, and have a great day.